Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here with another Master Duel video for you. So we've got some more live gameplay for you today. Like I mentioned in the last video, I did live games that I was going to try to do multiple live gameplay videos in this sitting, doing a few different decks. We did Baronne de Fluer in the last one, and now I want to do some live games with Swordsoul Tenyi. This has been pretty consistently one of my favorite decks to just ladder with in Master Duel. As I've talked about a lot in the past, I think this deck's main strength is its consistency. I think if you're looking for a deck that's going to do well over the course of many games over a long period of time, then this is definitely the deck to look for. Its combos might not be the most exciting. I know this deck gets a lot of flack for like, oh, all you do is end on Chi Shao plus Baron. And it's like, yeah, this is what we do a lot of the time on the end of turn one. That's pretty much like all the time what we do at the end of turn one is end on Chi Shao plus Baron. But there's a reason we do it a lot of the time, is because one, it's a very good board to end on. You know, it might not seem very impactful on the surface, but even just a couple of negates, and Chi Shao plus Baron really is just kind of like the baseline, right? We can often throw in like a Protos on top of that, or a Blackout, or maybe even in certain situations a Chao Fang as well. But yeah, and the other reason, of course, that we end on it all the time is because we can very consistently do so, right? Like it's very easy for this deck to kind of find its footing, so to speak, as far as just getting to that kind of endpoint at the end of turn one there, or their first turn anyway. And of course, another reason this deck is so powerful is because it's just so easy to just win with it. Like, as far as like doing 8,000 damage, like the Longyuan's 1200 burn, the main deck one, goes a long way. not pun not intended actually, but yeah, it actually goes a long way towards getting lethal, because really, you know, 1200, you know, from 8,000 to 6,800, and Chi Shao plus Baron, you know, this is 5,800 right here. So it's not hard to have an extra 1,000 damage from like a Monk of the Tenyi or something. That's all you need, is an extra 1,000 on top of that to then finish off the opponent. And then with Baron's Destroy effect, it's pretty easy to clear off the board as well. Especially easy if you're able to throw in a Protos there, as far as clearing off the board and then getting the damage that you need for lethal in there. So just all many reasons why Swordsoul Tenyi is just as powerful as it is, and as much of a mainstay as it is. And even, you know, as this deck does eventually get power crept out of the format a little bit later down the line, when we start to see something like sprites and Tear Elementals? Is it Tears and Cry or Terrors and Rip? I'm not actually sure about that. I think it's Tear Elementals, like Tears and Cry. But anyway, we will see, you know, decks in the relatively near future that will kind of like power creeps decks like Swordsoul Tenyi out of the format a little bit. Not out of the format, but out of Tier 1, I should say. Because that was what I was going to say, is I expect even after Swordsoul Tenyi gets power crept out of Tier 1 in due time, it'll still be a mainstay in Tiers 2 and 3. As it is still just going to be doing what it always does, putting out those Chi Shaos plus Barons. Of course, the deck is capable of doing, you know, much more other stuff in addition to that as well, but that just tends to be like the main thing. I've talked about this a lot before. I think Baxia is kind of the unsung hero of this deck. This card is so good. This card enables a lot of plays, like a lot of plays. It enabled more when, you know, Hulk plus Rorodon was a thing, but still just the disruption that it plays. It's such a versatile card. And then, of course, also allow you to go into Chao Fang, which is just a very powerful disruptive tool as well. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say about the deck for now. So now let's go ahead and break this list down card by card, as we always do before we get into some live games. We are playing 1 Effect Veiler, 3 Tenyi Spirit Adhara, 3 Maxx, 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 1 Tenyi Spirit Shthana, 3 Swordsoul of Mo Ye, 2 Swordsoul of Taia, 2 Incredible Ecclesia, the Virtuous, 3 Swordsoul Strategist Longyuan, 2 Tenyi Spirit Vishuda, 3 Tenyi Spirit Ashuna, 1 Nibiru, the Primal Being, 1 Archnemesis Protos, 1 Harpie's Featherduster, 3 Swordsoul Emergence, 2 Called by the Grave, 1 Crossout Exterminator, 2 Heavenly Dragon Circle, 2 Infinite Impermanence, and then finally 1 Swordsoul Blackout for the main deck. The extra deck is going to contain 1 Yazi Evil of the Zing, 2 Baxia Brightness of the Zing, 1 Draco Berserker of the Tenyi, 1 Adamancipator Risen Dragite, 2 Swordsoul Grandmaster Chi Shao, 1 Chao Fang Phantom of the Zing, 1 Baronne de Fluer, 1 Swordsoul Supreme Sovereign Cheng Ying, 1 Swordsoul Sinister Sovereign Qi Xing Longyuan, 3 Monk of the Tenyi, and then finally 1 Shaman of the Tenyi. So there is the deck there, main and extra. Let us now do some games. Alright, first opponent of the video here. Still can't get over how cool this Revenge Dreadmate is. Also, almost makes you want to play the deck. Almost. I don't know. I don't know. My whole thing with like trying random rogue decks, I would love to do that way more often than I do if it didn't cost like so many craft points just to build like random rogue decks. Okay, what do we got here? Our pretty good opening hand. We have Adhara, Ashuna, Swordsoul Emergence. Okay, so we have the circle, so I like going for the Mo Ye plate here because even if they have Valor / Imperm, we'll still be fine. Emergence is also a good way to bait out Ash a little bit earlier too. I think I'm going to throw... Okay, my plan right now is to throw down this Emergence for a Mo Ye. I'd probably want to special either Ashuna or Adhara. Probably... actually, you know, if I special Adhara, then later I can Ashuna banish for a Vishuda and potentially make... Could potentially set up a... what do you call it? It's a Chao Feng that way. Okay, let me start with the Emergence here from Mo Ye, I think. See if this resolves. If it doesn't, that's fine. It's not the end of the world. We can still make a level 8 play. Okay, yeah, they have the Ash for it. So, alright. Not a huge deal. So yeah, now we're going to special Ashuna, normal Adhara. Probably just go for Shishao from there. Let me just think for a second. Okay, if we go for Shishao, well, because they have Blackout, I'm thinking of going for Chenging on turn 1 here too. And then what we can do is we can special Ashuna, normal Adhara. Well, no, because if we do it that way, we don't have a normal monster, so I can't banish the Ashuna. What if we special Ashuna, send for Monk, special Adhara, banish, special Vishuda, normal... Ooh, I like this line. Okay, yeah, this is what we do here, right? Alright, Ashuna F. Okay, so my opponent has Valor or Imperm, because they got a prompt to respond not when I went to activate the effect of special the Ashuna, but once it was already on the field. So they have a Valor or an Imperm. We need to be mindful of that. We do have a Heavenly Dragon Circle to potentially circumvent that. Let's go ahead and still... We can still do the line we were talking about before, where we're going to go into Monk, right? Now we can special the Adhara from our hand. Yeah, see, they didn't have a prompt to respond to then because the Monk, and I think they might have flipped their thing to off because I think they realized that I realized that they have a Valor / Imperm there. But now we can use Ashuna's effect to special Vishuda from the deck. We're not going to be able to make Baronne anymore, but that's fine. Yeah, they definitely have a Valor and Imperm. I'm reading that really hard from them right now. Alright, so... We go into Chi Shao. We can Heavenly Dragon Circle the Chi Shao. Then we get 2 adds. We can even still Mo Ye. I think I like that. I think we can potentially set up a Chao Feng here too. Because we still haven't used our normal, right? Yeah, we haven't used our normal summon yet. They don't have Valor or Imperm. They let that resolve. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, so do I want to go... Well, I can't go for Longyuan now, because if I do that, then I'm going to have to discard the Blackout. I definitely don't want to do that. I guess I'm debating if I'm going to go for Taia or Mo Ye. I want to go for Mo Ye because I want the draw, right? Yeah, that's... Yeah, that's fine. Yes, we want to add it to our hand. We do not want to special it. Or no, banish it. Yes, add to hand. I don't know why that took me so long to figure out. Okay, now let me see something real quick. I can Ashuna to wheel the... Oh, I could. That's how I could have added the Longyuan and still made the Chenging. That's... I knew there was a way to do it. It was the Adhara. Well, let's see what we get off this Mo Ye. Yeah, let's just do this. Show them the Blackout. Huh, I really thought they had a Valor or an Imperm. I guess it could be an... Is it a Nibiru? One... Hang on. It was one... I mean, I definitely am in Nibiru range at this point, but... okay, I want to summon the Baxia. I'm going to go for a Chao Feng here. I want to activate Mo Ye's effect. I do not want to activate Baxia's effect. That's to spin cards. I want to use the effect to bring something back, but... Okay, I drew a Shthana. Probably just going to set this Heavenly Dragon Circle and pop that. I mean, I'm going to have to do it that way, right? Yeah. I don't think I need this Heavenly Dragon Circle anymore. I mean, I could have used it, but I'm fine using it for this purpose. Oh, thank God. I was like, please don't Nibiru me. Just thinking that's... Oh, man. Something that occupies far too much real estate in my brain is random clips from Speed Racer. I just thought of the one where the guy is, like, looking at Speed, and he's like, please don't crash into me. And then Speed just, like, crashes and rams him off the road. That's how I feel when I'm, like, on... Like, I'm in range of getting Nibiru'd. I'm like, please don't Nibiru me. Oh, we can banish this to add a Tenyi. Oh! Ooh, I didn't even think about that. Does that do anything for us? We can special a Vishuda from our hand. Does that do anything? No. It's still cool, though. I mean, there's kind of no reason not to do this, right? Let's go ahead and do it. And then we'll just add the Ashuna to our hand as well. I'll use this to add an Adhara, actually. And then use Adhara to wheel the Ashuna back to our hand. Oh my God, look how much advantage we managed to keep with this hand. And then finally we'll throw down a Blackout, and now we can pass. So, yeah, we didn't end on the Chengying or Baronne in addition to the Chi Xiao, but we ended on a Chao Feng, which is still obviously a decent enough kind of disruption / floodgate effect, and the opponent just conceded. Alright, so yeah, even though that wasn't like the most interactive game in the world, of course the opponent just, like I said, ended up conceding, but nice little like alternative line that I don't usually do. Got to kind of talk it out as I was doing it, so we got to make a Speed Racer reference. We always like that. I do love me some Speed Racer. Alright, okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next game. Okay, next game against some letters. Going second this time. Let's see. We're gonna go. Oh, we are going second. We lost the coin flip, I should say. Then we're going second. Losing the coin flip does not always mean you go second. It might mean you're playing against Numerons. As in, they might make you go first. Alright. We have a Nibiru. That's the only bit of disruption we have, but it's not a bad bit of disruption to have if you're gonna have one. Well, you want Maxx C, but I mean, really any bit of disruption is fine as long as you're, or rather when you're going second. So we've been a pretty good going first hand, having the Mo Ye, the Protos, the Emergence, and the Crossout Exterminator back it all up. Ooh, we're playing against Dragon Link. Okay, so this is actually going to be a pretty good game to have against Nibiru against. Or a pretty good deck, rather, to have a Nibiru against. It's going to be all about timing with this, especially against a deck like Dragon Link. I mean, Nibiru is all about timing anyway. Okay, so if you want to go stealth mode, this would be a good time to flip this to off and just kind of count your opponent's summons manually. I'm going to leave it on auto for the time being. I want to see if my opponent uses their normal. Okay, they haven't committed their normal summon yet, so I actually want to flip this to off. One of the things I'm looking for when I'm looking to Nibiru somebody is... Nibiru somebody? Makes it sound like a crime or something. I'm looking for them to use their normal summon, because it's really easy for them to kind of come back from a Nibiru if they haven't used their normal summon yet. So, okay, there's 1 and 2, right? There's Wyvern Burster, Striker Dragon. Collapse Serpent's probably going to be summon number 3. This is, of course, going to add the Boot Sector launch. That might be summon 4 right there. So, yeah, if you're going to flip it to off like this, you do have to be mindful to manually count the summons. And also, you want to be mindful of, like, flipping this to on when you need to. Before you need to. Not when you need to, before you need to. Okay, so yeah, here comes Collapse Serpent. That's summon number 3. And this is going to go for maybe Romulus for the Ravine. So they have Boot Sector launch and 3 unknowns in their hand right now. Okay, that's Romulus for the Ravine. That's the 4th summon. They really should have a counter on this this thing here, but that was 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, that's the 4th summon. So it's gonna. Oh, they have another. Oh yeah, okay. So 2 Wyvern Burst. That's fairly standard. So this second Wyvern Burster is gonna be the 5th summon. I definitely don't want a Nibiru when this second Wyvern Burster comes down. And why I flip this to off is because I don't want my opponent to know that I have a Nibiru when the second Wyvern Burster comes down. Because if I suddenly get a prompt to respond on their 5th summon, then they're gonna know I have a Nibiru and they're gonna play around it appropriately. But by flipping this to off, we're kind of in stealth mode, and they are hopefully going to play under the assumption that I don't have anything. But this is why you should always be mindful of Nibiru, even if your opponent's not getting prompts to respond, because, I mean, I've played against people who are doing exactly what I'm doing. That's where I got the idea to do it. Like, alright, let's see what they end up doing here. Okay, here comes Ravine. They're not playing Boot Sector Launch yet. Let's see what they discard here. I'm curious to see what they end up sending. Okay, they're discarding the Wyvern Burster. That's interesting. That's really interesting, actually. And they're sending the Rocket Recharger. Okay, because, yeah, they can use the Boot Sector Launch. Well, they can't use it to bring it back from the graveyard because I don't, okay, but they can use the Rocket Tracer. Pop the Ravine. Oh, they normal summoned, actually. Hang on, let me, I'm gonna flip this to on now. I think this is the time I want to do this. No, actually, it's not. Hang on. I think I want to do it when Boot Sector launches effect, because they have multiple tuners. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I don't want to Nibiru just yet. Let's let them use Boot Sector launch. Or, if they're going to use Boot Sector launch. They're going for a striker. Oh, they're going for the Pisty here. I could Nibiru after the Pisty comes down. I'm trying to think if I want to do that. I think I do. What's Pisty gonna bring back? Probably the... yeah, let's just... I don't think they have too many rocket cards in their hand. They have Boot Sector Launch and 2 other cards. They won't have more monsters than me, right? That's what Boot Sector Launch needs, is more... Who controls more monsters? They won't have more than me. I'm in Nibiru now. This might be a little early, but this token's gonna have 0 defense. Is one of the reasons I want to do it right now. And I don't think my opponent's hand is live from here on out, because they've used their normal summon. They've activated Rocket... oh, actually, have they? Did they activate Rocket Tracer's effect? I don't think they did. Shoot, I should have waited for them to do that. No, they did. No, wait. They did activate Rocket Tracer's effect. So yeah, that's kind of with Dragon Links in particular, the choke points I'm looking for with Nibiru. I'm looking for them to use their normal summon and use Rocket Tracer's effect. What they're going to be able to do after that point is severely limited. Although they do have the 1-for-1s, they do still have plays here. They've also used, I think, both Striker Dragons? Yeah, they've used both Striker Dragons and the Pisty, which is also really good news for me. They don't have any more Link 1s. Was this going to summon a Black Metal Dragon? Yeah, okay. But do they have another... Are they playing a 3rd Striker Dragon? They might. You can. Not many people do, but you can. I was going to say, how are you going to send this from the field to the graveyard, is what I'm wondering. I don't think you are. Not as of right now, anyway. Cool, good, I didn't think so. Alright. Not a bad draw. Well, not a great draw, but not a bad draw. So their hand is Boot Sector Launch and 1 unknown. Alright, cool, good. I think I'm going to lead with the Emergence here. Wait, can I? No, I can't lead with the Emergence. I have to lead with the Mo Ye. Alright, we'll lead with the Mo Ye, then that's fine. I will reveal the Taia. I'm going to go for the Chi Shao here, I think, anyway. I was just thinking about going for Baxia and spinning these back. See ya? Do I want to do that? No, I can only spin one thing back. I'll just go for Chi Shao then. Alright, and then we'll do the effects, chain blocking, da-da-da-da. We know how it goes, right? We have all seen this song and dance before, and many of us have played it as well. We got another Emergence. It's kind of gross, but whatever. It doesn't really matter. We can just discard that with the Longyuan. Yeah, we definitely want to add that. I don't know why I always hesitate on that. I think it's phrased poorly. I really feel like it should be like... Yeah, when you have the option between add or banish or add or summon, I feel like it should be like... That's how it should be presented instead of like, do you want to add to hand, yes or no? Because it kind of makes it sound like when you say no that you're not going to get the card. I mean, I've been playing this game for like, since it came out, and I still hesitate. No, not a Nibiru, please. No! No! Oh, and I don't have another Nibiru myself! Oh, no! I mean, it's fine. We can still just drop the Protos, but like, oh. Actually, wait a second. This is totally fine. This is totally fine. We get special Protos in defense mode, call Dark. They're not going to be able to summon any Dark monsters, which against this deck means they can't do anything. Nibiru can't run over either of our dudes, and we can just summon Taia next turn. Right? That should all be fine. Let me see my graveyard real quick. Am I banishing 1, 2, 3? Or like 1... No, wait. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'll banish 1, 2, 3 like that. Yeah, alright. This is fine. This is fine. This is not nearly as bad as it looks, I think. I hope. Yeah, we'll do it like that. And yeah, I'm gonna Protos for Dark and not Light here. Because if I call Dark, they're not gonna be able to summon like any of their stuff. I'll throw down this Crossout, and then I'll pass. Now I have a Taia and Emergence for next turn. They can't get over either of these with Nibiru, and I still have 8,000 life points too. And most importantly, they can't summon Dark monsters. They can't special summon Dark monsters. They can still normal summon Dark monsters, but obviously, special summoning Dark monsters is really what Dragon Link is trying to do. I should have played around that Nibiru better. I really should have gone for the Longyuan earlier, I think. Well, no, not with the hand I had at the time. The only reason I was able to, because I mean, I guess I could have maybe. I don't know. Oh man, that's actually like. Well, didn't I have the Emergence? I think I totally could have gone for the Longyuan first. I just talked myself out of it. Yeah, I should have anticipated. I mean, they only had one other card. I let myself get a little cocky because they only had one other card in hand besides the Boot Sector launch. I'm like, oh, what could it possibly be? It will turn out to be a Nibiru, which... good old Nibiru versus Nibiru back and forth shenanigans. We do love it, though, as far as just the interactivity goes. Definitely prefer games to this than, like, your opponent flipping up floodgates or ending on, like, a bunch of Omni gates or whatever. You know what I mean. Gold Sark is fine, so I guess it's the Thunder Dragon variant if they're playing Gold Sark, right? That's fine, because I think a lot of the... I mean, Colossus is dark. I don't think they play the other Thunder Dragon fusion, do they? I think that one's light. We still have the Nibiru token, even if they do, and we have plays next turn. I'm not, like, super concerned about... Well, I mean, I'm a little concerned. I'm just like, even though my opponent doesn't have a whole lot of resources to work with, like... Dragon Link is very capable of coming back in some very interesting ways. So we've called Dark with Protos. That was like, that's a lot of the insurance that we have through our opponent's turn here. Discard, special, discard, shuffle, draw the same number. Okay, that's fine, I don't care about that. What does it do again? Discard, special, a Thunder Dragon. This banish. Okay, yeah. That's. They only have the dark one, so that's fine. I don't care about that. And I think the other effect. What did it say? Oh God, Yu-Gi-Oh players in reading, right? Banish or sent from the field to the graveyard. Okay, that's okay. Cool. We got the concede. Woo-wee. That is awesome. Yeah. All right. So that takes care of our opponent there. We had a nice little Nibiru fest there. I'm looking at my timer. Because, like, I'm just thinking, like, oh, I want to get more live games with other decks in, too. I'm just trying to debate if I have time for one more game. I think I'm going to play it safe and call it here so we can get just more variety of decks in. But there will be more live games in the future. Should be in the near future. But, yeah, let's go ahead and move now to the outro. Alright everyone, I want to thank you very much for watching all the way to the very end like this. That does mean a whole lot to me, not just personally, but as a means of supporting the channel as well. Yeah, especially those of you who watched the end of that second game. Wow, I've not had like a back and forth between Nibirus like that in, I don't even know if I've ever had one quite like that where like, yeah, we had to carefully plan our Nibiru. Our opponent had to slightly less carefully plan theirs because we kind of played right into their Nibiru, but then we're still able to come back anyways with the clutch Protos at the end there. So yeah, no, I guess that maybe the opponent could have waited for like the Protos to come down, but like that's kind of iffy. I don't know. I don't fault my opponent for Nibiruing when they did. I think we Nibiru'd at probably the best opportunity we could have. I think. if you would have Nibiru'd at a different point, or you think the opponent should have, or just have any commentary about gameplay or the deck as a whole, feel free to throw that down there in the comments below. I always love hearing from you all in the comments. I love getting that feedback, that nice constructive criticism, which you're all very good about giving. I haven't said this in particular in a while, though I do always think it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've got a pretty awesome comment section. You guys are pretty rad. It's just, I love seeing that sharing of information, sharing of knowledge, right? I never want to come off as like the sole instructor or the sole keeper of like how you play this deck, because I'm not at all. Like, I don't think any one person is, but I don't think I'm at all. So I love getting that just feedback from you all, not only for my sake. I mean, my gameplay has improved so much just from the comments that you all leave, but then everyone else's can then improve as well. Just all helping each other learn by building off one another, I think is so important. Just to me in general, not just to the channel, but just to me as a person. So I love to see it. Thank you all very much. I do appreciate you all. And then subscribing, another great way to support the channel, also means a lot to me. You also get notifications then of when my videos drop, which does happen every single day. So just know that when you subscribe, you do get a daily Master Duel video out of me as a result. But yeah, I think that's about all the time we got for this one. Like I said, I'm going to try to get some more live games in with some other decks, but definitely look forward to some more, hopefully in the very near future. Should be able to continue this. I actually really like doing this, and I miss doing this a lot. So now that I'm going to hopefully have more time to have longer sit-down sessions where I can sit down and do recording like this, as opposed to doing it in kind of short bursts, which is what I had to kind of do before to keep up. But in any case, that's all kind of behind the scenes stuff. I'm just rambling at this point. So without further ado, this is Hexlex. I'm signing off, and I hope you have a nice day. A fantastic day. There we go.